That heifer right there just don't even care.
Save yourself now.
Good. Hey, y'all.
What do you say, folks? Hope everybody having a fine evening this evening.
Everybody.
Yes. Hope your toes is warm, too. It done got chilly down. Huh? Appreciate y'all turning your cold weather loose on us.
Yeah. Everybody. Y'all need to shut all them barn doors because it's cold down here.
Yep. The next couple of days, too.
Strangely cold. It's usually not this cold this early.
But I did forget, too. We opened the door to December today. So.
Yeah, I didn't realize that till this morning. I was like, oh no, already.
Yeah, me neither.
It's December, y'all.
So, here we go. Getting that time of the year. You're going to hear all the bells a jingling and music going on everywhere.
I'm cool with it now, though.
Yes, it's past Thanksgiving. I had an emotional breakdown during Thanksgiving. Told some old gal at the grocery store, I said, let's do one holiday at a time if you're going to do one. Thanksgiving.
The coffee shop.
Was it coffee shop?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, it was the coffee shop.
Oh, you'd have thought I shattered her world into pieces, saying something about that. And I was like, no, do one at a time. Then once that's over, okay, have at it. But let's not skip from
let's
one to the
acknowledge
other.
Each one
there we
as
go.
they come.
I'm just that old
Y'all
soul, I guess. Yep. But other than that, like I said, I hope everybody had a fine turkey day. I know everybody been chirping about it on other lives.
Leaf coming in with Christmas trees.
There you go. Yes, sir. Go on now. We'll put you up there. Let's see here. There we go.
I think that was
going.
special for you, Button.
Thank you, sir. Y'all know how to talk to me. We had a good turkey day. We ate Wednesday instead of Thursday. And I got to tell you what, boy, this woman of mine, she put together a meal. Then baby sister come along Wednesday morning to help tidy up on things, as far as a couple little dishes she was doing as well.
Well, she did all the cookies too.
Yeah, cookies, and man, she does some kind of, what do you call it? It's bacon wrapped in green beans.
Green beans wrapped in bacon.
There we go. Yes.
Like whole green beans.
Yeah. But I don't know, she wraps them puppies up, sticks them in the oven for however long that bacon gets ready. You talk about a good little snack. But
it's really good.
See, Hannah got together pumpkin pies, bread, yeast rolls, squash casserole, sweet potato casserole, your mama's broccoli salad,
macaroni,
homemade macaroni, nothing out of the box.
And John did the turkey.
Yeah, and her brother did the turkey. So we all moseyed over there to her daddy's house and sat down and had some good fellowship. And y'all, there was just enough food left to leave there with her daddy and baby brother. So it worked out
perfect
on our end. But like I say, hope everybody had a good visit with family and friends, in-laws and outlaws. Hope everybody was able to get along a little bit.
That's the one holiday you should really put forth an effort to get along. Oh, good grief. Lee fried an 18.5-pound turkey.
Good grief.
I don't think ours was that big.
No, that had been a small turkey what her brother got, which we wouldn't. It ain't a whole bunch of us anyway. But
I don't know, maybe a 12 or 13 pounds.
Yeah, that baby was gone
We
pretty
didn't
quick.
need a lot. I mean, there was enough. Dad ate sandwiches for 2 days after they finished their plate Thursday. So there was plenty. It just wasn't the 18-pound turkey.
But I tell y'all this, I know a bunch of y'all, like I said, it worked out perfect. We wouldn't having to dish out plates and worried about food being wasted and all this kind of good stuff. But I tell you what, we got up the next morning, and after my belly had been stretched the day before, I was pretty hungry getting up the next morning. I scratched around the refrigerator and looked in the freezer and this and that. And there wasn't nothing. There wasn't even so much as a loaf of bread. Because we let the kids use the store-bought bread to feed the chickens to occupy them. Because Hannah made homemade bread. So.
But there was no homemade bread left.
Everything gone. So we was laughing. I think we was talking to Mr. Donnie yesterday. Went and done some stuff for him. And so Mr. Donnie, we went up there to Old Rockies, which the fellas got filling station. Got us a cheeseburger plate. Come on back home.
Yeah. I don't have it in me to cook again. I cooked for 2 days straight. I was like, no, I'm not. If there's nothing left, we're going to buy something.
We'll see. We got to get a little crowd moseying on in here this evening. Holler, oh, Jack and Danae got first, it looks like.
I seen that.
Hallelujah be for him. Good to see you.
Miss Deb was in here early.
Russell Amen. Mr. Mike Conley. Try rattling your cage a little bit. Hope you got off that mountain pretty safe. Keith Spillman.
I hope you got off that mountain in time to see we hit that go live button early for you, Mr. Mike. Again, because you missed it last week.
So did.
But there's a whole lot of witnesses that'll tell you we did it early last week, too.
Yep. You go get them. Get on
them. We love you, Mr. Mike.
Let's see. Mike Tangway. Who else we got here? Did I get Keith Spillman?
You can get him again, just in case. Steve and Miss Janet in here. I guess Miss Janet's in here.
James Noel. Mr. Mark Miller. Redfish.
That's Steve and Janet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lee over there.
With the Christmas trees.
Oh, mercy. The Texicans in here.
Which one? Philip's in here.
Lord have mercy.
I ain't seen Mr. JW yet, so maybe the drama will stay at a minimum for a minute.
He's feeding up crappie with dog food bags he sunk at the bottom of the lake.
Are you serious?
Miss Kimberly, good seeing you. Who else am I missing?
Sarah's in here. I seen her sneak in. I was talking to her earlier. Her grandkids been wearing her out.
There, Mr. JW done popped in here.
Oh, hey, Mr. JW.
Look, I seen your comment at the last part, Mr. JW, last week, and you was talking when we was talking about that the Hayden podcast, Hayden Alabama podcast, and you put it in the comment square grouper, and I hadn't seen that one yet. So, lo and behold, I rummaged through their podcast, and I seen that one on that square grouper. That joke was pretty funny. Them old Coast Guard boys, hemming them up out there talking about what y'all got in here in the middle of where the Bahamas or Caribbean down there in pretty much a flat bottom bass boat, the way it sounded like. Oh yeah. But yes, sir. So got a good kick out of that one. If any of y'all went back and watched the boat story or the Confessions of the Baptist Preachers, hope y'all got a good laugh out of them. But while yakking about food, if we're gonna go there, we may as well continue on that thread for a minute. Talking about Hannah making that homemade bread and them homemade yeast rolls. And man, them, like I said, little jokers is good. Well, she said I'm gonna make honey butter. But since we was gonna be over to her daddy's house, her daddy likes them darker honeys. Like the fall honeys, what have you. So And
it's Keith Spillman.
Yep. Hannah told me, she said, well, since Daddy likes them fall honeys, I'm going to use this darker stuff of Keith Spillman's here. And I was like, all right. Well, I've got to kind of retract about half of what I said on darker honeys in the past. When you
It makes a fine honey butter.
Yes, it did. Now, as far as, I'll be honest, it don't matter whose honey it is, anything like that. I'm not a big fan on the dark, sure enough honey taste. I like the sweet,
the light honey.
Yes. But Hannah mixed that honey butter, or put the butter with Keith Spillman's tulip poplar. I think that's what it was. Let me tell you what. That's why I say I got to take back about half of what I was saying on that, because she said, here, try it. Do you think, it's good?
So I didn't mix it quite as heavy because it is a stronger honey, and I didn't want to overdo it for everybody.
But I slapped that stuff on one of them warm yeast rolls and chowed down. And I tell you what, the next day or yesterday, she made yeast rolls and bread.
Yeah, I made
another batch. And I tell you what, I cleared out pretty much all the honey butter that was left. So
yeah, he did. Left the empty. That's worse than the one cookie thing. He left the empty butter dish sitting on the counter with me thinking there's still honey butter left in that thing.
So if you're not much on the darker honeys, don't knock it yet.
Butter.
Yes, make you a honey butter right there, and that's how I want you to mix up honey butter from here on out, kind of thing.
Well, said, I think we all need a sample of that.
Hey, Bubba.
Oh, it was good. That was good. Probably the best honey butter I've ever made.
Absolutely. So,
and that's not bragging, because all you do is mix butter and honey. Like it's made by the honey you put in it. So that's bragging on Keith.
Yep. Good job, them Carolina bees up there.
That was good.
Yeah, that was part of what I had.
Not with that honey, Brian. I didn't add. He asked if there was any other ingredients in it. Not with that honey at all. I didn't put anything except that honey in the butter.
It's salted butter and just the honey.
Yeah, that's all I did. Now, I mean, in the past, I have put stuff, like a little bit of cinnamon or maybe a little bit of brown sugar or something. But no, I've heard you say that about the vanilla before. But I've never tried the vanilla, but I'm sure that's really good.
Oh, here we go.
What?
I'm just on the grub. That's what.
Oh,
everybody getting it.
I thought you hit the wrong button.
No, I'm just saying I had to mention that before I got too far gone or something like that. My beekeeping.
Yeah, I told myself I was going to try the vanilla. I was going to do, like we were talking last week about the little fried sweet potatoes I was going to try. But I was going to try the brown sugar and vanilla on the sweet potatoes with the honey butter and see what that tasted like. What?
You were talking about the sweet potatoes. Pastor Larry and them's in here, right?
Yeah. All right. They were. Oh yeah. Miss Jan, please, you have started something. Please send me. Tell me how to make the dumplings.
The sweet potato dumplings.
Sweet potato dumplings. That is all I have heard about for like 3 days now.
Back and forth.
Darren, it's gonna have the same shelf life as your butter. So if I make a big batch of it, like a whole big bowl of it or something, then I'll just take it out in chunks of like a half a stick at a time to keep soft on the counter and keep the rest in the fridge. Unless you're going to have a big gathering and you need all of it. But I mean, the honey's not going to go bad. So it's going to last as long as your butter will normally last.
And that ain't going to last. once you get that stuff mixed up the way you want it to
depends on how fast
taste,
you're gonna eat it too. Yeah,
it'll go.
but I mean, you know how people always keep keep butter in a butter dish, you know, to keep it soft and spreadable or whatever. That's how. I mean, I keep it like that a lot, but I found I was having to pull it out every day. The way it was disappearing this time.
It's good.
Honestly, Brian, I don't even measure. Like, I just kind of douse the butter with honey until it tastes right. So I don't know. I say that a lot in my videos. I feel like I'm like Mike Berry's cooking counterpart. This is just how it goes in my kitchen. This is not a let me tell you how to cook something kind of deal.
Maybe we can try it like this. How much did you use the other day? Did you use a half a stick or a whole stick? Or
I used a stick and a half of butter.
The other day.
I ended up, yeah. But I have no idea how much honey I put. I just pour it in until it kind of looks right.
Yeah, you'll see it change color. Whenever it starts to change color, then kind of back on out of it, get you a little taste of it.
Mix
if it ain't got
really
enough,
good, and then taste it.
Yeah. If you ever had peanut butter and syrup, some of the people call peanut butter and syrup, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If you ever had peanut butter and syrup and you mix it up and you got that good consistency of everything mixed together, that's what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And just mix it to your taste because it ain't going to last. A couple of days, it's gone.
Pastor Larry said he tried to email you some sweet potato dumplings, but he's like, JW, your email must not be working.
Well, it wouldn't send them on too.
No, because I sure heard about not receiving them too.
Them emails?
Mm-hmm.
Well.
He looked forward all day, Pastor Larry. So, Miss Jan, please help me here.
Well, it all started out, Pastor Larry sending a message from them up there, Happy Thanksgiving and all that. We just kind of started yakking for a second. And he's mentioned them sweet potato dumplings, and I was like, sweet potato dumplings, huh? Then he bragged about how well they was received at the church function last week. And it was requested by Pastor Larry to do a continuance this week.
Mm-hmm.
And she did not disappoint, according to his messaging.
No, those pictures look good. For sure, those pictures look good.
Yeah. So, yes, I'm very much interested in trying that. But, yeah. Where else we go?
Everywhere.
We tried a little bit of working.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't none of that happening. Lord willing, it's supposed to warm up the latter part of the week for us. And if we get some sunny days, we're going to head up there to my buddy Lance's and see what's going on with what we haven't checked since spring and his bees. If they anything like last year, we can probably just pull in and turn around and drive right back out until spring because they did phenomenal without us doing anything to them. But we'll see what we can make of that. Maybe get y'all a beekeeping video in.
Yeah, because we didn't do a cooking video one.
No.
Not one.
Well, I was going to ask you, but whenever you started getting it in that kitchen, I was like, I ain't even fixing to burden you with that right now. But we're doing another one, y'all.
Yeah, maybe Christmas time it won't be so out of control, I guess.
But
maybe.
You want to do your prayer list and then open up the chat? Y'all want to chit chat? If not, I got a little bit we can jaw on and we'll go from there with it. Spring bees and winter bees. But we're going to dive into something a little bit more besides how long does a winter bee live? But carry on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You good now?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Mark Miller, Ed and his family. I don't think anybody's heard from him again. Yeah.
No.
The Dirt Rooster's dad, Mr. Pat, Miss Deb, Grammy Lisa's son and 2 granddaughters, Bob and his family, Tom's wife and his mother-in-law, Mr. Donnie, Mike Tangway and his family. Wasn't it his brother? Yeah, his brother in the hospital last week. Maybe he'll tell us how Marcel's doing. Mike Tangway's brother. DC's parents, David Hoskins' little granddaughter Emma, baby Luca, and the family that lost their little one. What? Oh, I thought you were trying to show me something. Deanna Wheeler and her son Reed, Rachel Wilson, her sister Amanda and her niece Riley, Philip's mama, his friend BJ and his wife, the Jennifer Brown family, Bobby's Bees and his family, Minnesota Mike and his brother Dave, Mr. Larry and Miss Sherry Gandy and Mr. Larry's mama, Keith Larimore, Hillbilly Earl, the Paris family, Bruce with his bees granddaughter Unsong, Steve Amos's brother and mother-in-law, Spanky, all the war and storm victims, Jeg's Farm's wife, Sean Baltersa's wife, Mr. Ron, PJ Hanley, Stafford Mike, Shaboo, Ricky Rourke, 29 Homestead, Grammy Lisa's friend Lime, Catherine's son and his family, all of our government officials running this country,
Mm-hmm.
The Leonard family.
We can take the Leonard family off.
Okay. The Tar Heel, Mr. Randy, his mother-in-law. I feel like somebody else was on here. Or was he on here? All of them. Anyway, Cece's Texas Garden, Earl's mama, Miss Vivian, Philip's mother-in-law's sister, Miss Leona, Terry Chapman and his family, Chris Wilkinson, Vincent Kalunga's son Ephraim, Terry Bertalan, DC's friend Garrison, Redfish's wife, Miss Janet, and Kimberly's daughter-in-law Amanda and her family, and Mr. Mark's wife, Miss Crystal, who is, I guess, still doing good, recouping from her neck surgery.
We were glad to hear the other week.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lord willing, she's running you around with a switch there, Mr. Mark Miller, back on your tail again.
Mm-hmm. As well.
Mm-hmm. As well, yeah. Pretty much what I'm saying. Hope she's getting better, back on her feet.
Mr. Roy said, "Did you block me yet?"
I don't think so. Have you tried to get a hold to us, Mr. Roy? Which I have to admit, if you send an email, I haven't been in the emails in probably about a week or so.
Way too long.
It's been a little while. But, no, sir, I don't believe I have. If I did, y'all know me and buttons. But I don't believe so on my telephone. Then, Todd, real quick. Huh?
Yeah, hopefully not.
No, I don't believe I have. But Todd, no Walmart stories this week, but I don't know how well you'll be able to sleep this evening. But hopefully you'll get by with a Piggly Wiggly story. And at least that'll get you through half the evening. But
seriously,
long story short, Miss Hannah sent me into Hoggly Woggly down the road yesterday by myself. She asked me if I'd go in there and get a couple things.
I don't recommend that. I don't.
Well, I went in, got everything on the list, noted twice, On the way out, the way they do the groceries, whenever they fling that stuff off that conveyor belt, put it in them bags. And cashiers like to have a buggy right there by them so they can just dump it off in that buggy. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, no problem. Well, I unloaded the buggy, had my back turned. I could not see people behind me. So I glanced, didn't see nobody, turned around real quick, pulled my buggy around. Whenever I made one pivot step backwards, I done caught the manager lady at her ankle with my big old boot. And all I hear is, oh, the whole store stops and looking at me like I just tripped this woman up, pretty much. Well, after all of the dust is settling on that, her employee looks at me and says, that was just nothing but drama. I was like, all right, I'm just glad she didn't bust her head, kind of thing. Let me get out here
Just
and get
let
going.
me get out of here.
Yes, let me get going. But let me do this.
What are you thinking about it?
Yeah. So
Got really quiet.
it did get quiet.
You can't think and push buttons and talk at the same time.
Not on this thing, because it's little bitty buttons you got to smash on here. Mr. Dan
I was
Weaver.
just fixing to say,
Man.
look who just came in. Hadn't seen your name in a minute now.
Yes, good seeing you in the chat. We haven't seen him since the honey tasting. Before the honey tasting.
It has.
But I got to tell you, while I'm on it, I appreciate my keychain. The old cannon.
Wearing that thing all over the place on that key ring, Mr. Dan.
Yes, sir. Thank you, thank you. I've been wanting to tell you that. But
I think you did tell me that. Yeah. Because I remember going through on one chat. I know you did. But
thank you again. Yeah.
That's how much you love it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll wait idle another minute or two. Nobody, did you pin the thing?
I pinned the thing.
Nobody wants to come in here. We'll talk skinny
Just
bees and fat bees. Yep. Good. I was watching let's see, was it another live or video or something? But what it was pertaining to in that video, it didn't even have anything really to do with, I guess, fat bees, as they call it in the beekeeping in your summertime bees. But it just got on to sugars and stuff. But I got to thinking, what really is the difference between a winter bee and a summer bee, besides one living potentially 6 months and the other one just living 6 weeks, and that being the end of the story, kind of thing. So if you already know this, it's probably going to bore you to death. If not, then maybe we can all get a little knowledge from it. And little did I know, digging through all this, I guess a small portion falls into what Earl's latest video is on the fatty acids and stuff like that in the bee. But as I got to reading deeper and deeper into it, I was like, it's pretty good here. All right. It's the science. It's off a science website. I have to read the name off to y'all in a few minutes, but let's see what this thing is.
Crank it up.
All right, let me crank it up here. Let me get on whatever the actual website is. Journal of Insect Physiology. Elsevier. The name of
it sounds
or
good.
the website there. If you want to look it up, this is the name of the website. I'm just going to spell it out so you'll know, and you can go back, rewind. ELSEVIER is the name of the deal there from Science Direct. What? Yes.
Baby Luca's first birthday was November 23rd.
Yeah.
He's growing strong.
Man.
That's awesome.
Look, I think, let me see here. Y'all bear with me right quick. Let me get to
That is too cool. Don't you still have the picture?
I do somewhere right in here. I think it is.
You going too fast?
I just can't keep it on. What in the world? I pulled it off there somehow.
Are you sure?
Nope. There we go.
Boom.
Baby
I knew
Luca.
you still had it.
Wonderful, wonderful news, Mr. Dan.
That's a good update.
Yes, sir. I guess I better hang out here for a minute
Cool.
while I got diagrams and pictures again. Yeah. All right. Science Direct is the name of the website.
Mm-hmm.
And there's buku information on whatever you want to know, apparently, about any kind of insect and the whole, it breaks it down to the plasms, protoplasm, just everything. Cell development structures, the whole shebang. But on this one, in Science Direct, seasonal changes in ultrastructure and gene expression in the fat body of worker honeybees. It's just got your highlights here at the top. Summer hive and forager bees have smaller fat bodies than winter bees. Summer and winter bees differ in the biology of cell organelles. Lysosomes, I'm probably saying that wrong, and lipofuscin particles are more abundant in winter bees. Hive bees demonstrate increased expression of genes involved in the metabolism of the honeybee. But I'm not going to read all the abstract because it breaks too many symbols and stuff like that down. But to give you an idea to start with, the anatomic and physiological and behavioral characteristics of honeybees are affected by the season as well as division of labor. In this study, we examined the structure, ultrastructure, and gene expression of fat body cells in both long-lived winter and short-lived summer worker bees. The youngest stage of the hive bees and forager bees. In contrast to hive bees, foragers and winter bees have a higher metabolism due to the intensive muscle activity during flight. Note that, the muscle activity. Okay, I'm going to have to crank the hotspot in a minute to jump over on these essential and non-essential amino acids. How all that comes together. But
are they on different websites?
Well, it's the same website, but it won't
Okay.
let me crank it over. Where was I at?
Intensive muscle
Activity during the flight and endothermic heat production. That's where your winter bees is coming in. These workers differ from hive bees in the biology of their mitochondria, peroxisomes, and lysosomes, as well as in the expression of the genes involved in the lipid, carbohydrate, amino acid metabolism, insulin, and TGF B signaling. Could not tell you what that is. But one of you science gurus can probably be like, okay, that's what it is. Additionally, the expression of genes related to the phospholipid metabolism was higher in the hive bees. However, we found no differences between workers in the expression of genes controlling the cell organelles, such as the Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic, and ribs. Oh, yeah. Look at that. You're going to steal the show.
Steal the show.
Nucleus, and as well as genes from DNA replication, cell cycle control, and all the other good stuff.
You got a question.
What?
But how do they make a winter bee? Same fertilized egg as a worker. Do the nurse bees feed the larva pupae a different cocktail than a worker?
Well, undoubtedly, the fat body of. Let me get to where it says it in here. It's the proteins. Wait a minute. It's the amino acids in the pollen, okay, that they take in. The ones that's got the higher amino acids in there, which to define amino acids is the molecules the ones that are the building blocks of proteins, break down food, build and maintain muscles. Okay. Non-essential amino acids are something that the body produces, but it doesn't need a food in order to get that. Okay, the body can pretty well produce that. The essential amino acids are the acids that the bodies cannot produce or maintain without food. So all of it's going to go into the feeding process of those winter bees. They're going to get more of the amino acids out of the pollens than what they're fed.
They're fed a different cocktail.
Pretty much, according to the way all this lines
winter bee.
Okay. Let's see, the introduction. The fat body of insects is a dynamic tissue involved in the endocrine signaling and multiple metabolic functions, including lipid and carbohydrate metabolism, protein synthesis, amino acid and nitrogen metabolism, and detoxification of nitrogen metabolism. The fat body serves as a central nutrition storage facility for the synthesis and utilization of energy reserves. Energy reserves are stored as glycogen and triglycerides, which are degraded to glucose or fatty acids as fuel molecules on demand. Fatty acids also serve as precursors for the synthesis of the icosanoids, okay, pheromones, say it for me. Phospholipids, and for wax. Lipids concentrate the main fat body component, and that's going to be greater. 90% greater of the lipids are in the form of triglycerides, which are synthesized by dietary carbohydrates, fatty acids, and proteins. We're getting into, I guess, leaning more, who was it, Keith or who it was? During the summer, the
Brian had a comment.
Okay.
He said he thought that the absence of pollen triggers the creation of winter bees. That absence turns on other genes that turn them into winter bees, but he's not positive.
We'll get into, I guess, the full olive maybe here just a second, because it gets into the days of his summer bees here in just a second.
Mr. Mike's writing poetry.
Oh, mercy. During the summer, the labor in the worker honeybees is based on two main classes. Hive bees or younger bees, it gives the days 0 to 21 days of age, who work inside the nest. 0 to 3-day-old bees or cell cleaning specialists. 4 to 12-day-old bees are called nurses, and they nurse larvae and care for the brood nest. Middle-aged bees, 12 to 21 days, with task repertoire ranging from nest building and maintenance to nectar receiving and processing, and to guarding the nest entrance. Forager bees are the workers with an age of over 21 days who venture outside the hive to collect food and water. The transition between stages is associated with numerous physiological changes, such as a decrease in stored lipids and proteins, alteration in various tissue organs such as the brain, fat bodies, pheromone-producing glands, and hypopharyngeal glands. The transition is also linked to rapid senescence. I'm going to say that. Until 10 days after the foraging transition. The majority of foragers is approximately 20%, but increases rapidly at almost 100% 20 days after the onset of foraging activity. At the physiological level, the transitions are associated with changes in the titers of juvenile hormone and vitellogen, both of which are key mediators of behavioral and physiological development of worker honeybees. I'm gonna have to keep going. I should have wrote that down because I got it. The vitellogen is an egg yolk protein that is synthesized in fat body cells and released into the hemoglobin, and its synthesis is positively correlated with the increased amount and quality of pollen in a protein-rich diet.
Brian said as bees get older, the juvenile hormone increases.
That's where we were just fixing to go.
He said that's counterintuitive.
Okay. Okay, the protein-rich diet. The juvenile hormone is a crucial component of endocrine signaling and is linked to caste determination as well as the control of labor division in the bees. Juvenile hormone and the vitellogen titers and honeybees are correlated negatively. Juvenile, I should have wrote all this down. Yeah, juvenile hormone titers are low in nurse bees and high in forager bees, and a decrease in vitellogen activity causes a rise in juvenile hormone titers, which promotes behavioral development and initiates foraging, while vitellogen levels are believed to extend the lifespan of honeybees. Juvenile hormone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, juvenile hormones acts as a pro-aging factor.
Mm-hmm.
The vitellogen and juvenile hormone titers change significantly throughout the year. Juvenile hormone levels peak during the summer and are lowest during the winter. And that's according to some dude named Robertson back in 95. Whereas vitellogen levels show the opposite pattern. Therefore, low juvenile hormone and high vitellogen levels are observed in long-lived winter workers that are produced to sustain the colony throughout temperature winters. So, basically, what it's boiling down to is your summer bees, they're running off all their little fatty cells that give them energy by foraging. Zoom, 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 back and forth. That's all they do all day long. So that's why your summer bees ain't lasting but 6 weeks. All right. Well, when you start getting into your winter bees, their fat cells, they're storing more. It's being more put up because they're not out foraging and carrying on as much. So they're holding all this in. And what they are burning most oftentimes is what they're doing in the hive. Keeping that cluster, keeping things warm, keeping that little bit of brood warm.
So they're not burning near as much.
No, not at all. So when you start getting into them amino, where'd I have it? I have one of these that had a diagram. There we go. Bingo.
You forgot you put pictures on there.
I did. Oh, I forgot to take let me get Mr. Dan's comment up here. The cells on the left-hand screen is going to be from your summertime bee. And it's just showing you got the fatty cells there for energy, carbs, and things like that. Then if you look over on the right, you can see how much more of the fatty cells that you have in the winter bees. And they're storing all that energy in all those fatty cells. That way they can crank up the heat in the wintertime and not worry about too much. I think this is the other one. Yeah, it shows the storage of those cells. The red being, I wish I could open that thing. You can't zoom on these things to read, but the red being more storage of the fatty cells for the winter bee to give them that energy. Well, they're not burning up that energy all year long. So I probably confused the mess out of y'all, but we're going to get to it. By analyzing these structural changes in the fat body cells combined with gene expression data, this study aimed to provide more details on the role of the fat body in the physiological settings of winter and summer workers, as well as differences between the youngest stage of hive bees and forager bees. Says the experiments that the science folks here conducted with the honeybee Apis mellifera carnic. The colony was kept in an apiary of the biology center of, I'm not even going to attempt that name, across the pond somewhere. Understand beekeeping procedures, colonies revealed no signs of diseases, and levels of varroa infestation were low. Queens in the colonies were naturally mated. All tested colonies showed a standard development throughout the year. Sampling was performed during June through July and December and January. Structure of the fat body cells. The fat body mass of honeybees varies throughout the year. The fat body mass of winter bees was significantly higher than that of hive and forager bees. Hive bees appear to have larger fat bodies than forager bees, but indifference is not statistically significant. Tryphocytes and oocytes are the two main cell types in the fat bodies of honeybees. The two cell types frequently coexist all through the same areas of, it's just got ... It don't go into all of it. But I think this is one I was going to show y'all. No, that's the essential acids and non-essential acids. Get back out of that. All right, let me run this through here while I got this Wi-Fi cranked back up so I can get over to them amino acids, really get to the nuts and bolts of it. So y'all bear with me just a second. Time out, nobody. The old DC in here? There he is. Good to see you, DC. All right. Waiting on the Wi-Fi. All right. Let's get back up here. Where was I at on that stuff? There we go. The effects of essential amino acid and supplementation to promote honeybee gland and muscle development in cages and colonies. Cage bees, come on, Mr. Phillip. Come on, get it. Cage bees fed essential amino acids developed head weights similar to nurse bees. Cage bees fed amino acids developed thorax weights similar to foragers. Poor bee nutrition be remedied with an essential amino acid diet to support bee growth. Nutrition drives colony growth via nurses. Colonies with heavy nurse bees rear more brood. Feeding essential amino acids to colonies may increase individual bee growth and brood rearing. Well,
he said sometimes it's just better to be amazed. Just more fun to be amazed.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. The abstract on this, now it's the same website, Science Direct. But like I said, anybody wants to look into this, Science Direct, then go to the effects of essential amino acids supplementation to promote honeybee gland and muscle development in cages and colonies. The abstract, there's growing concern about the impact of poor nutrition on honeybee health. With caged bee experiments and whole colony field experiments, we examine the effects of supplementing bees with essential amino acids or a controlled treatment of non-essential amino acids. All right, back again, just in case somebody trying to figure out what's the amino acid.
DC said, wouldn't that be similar to ACE?
Well, in a sense, yeah. But it's figuring out, or it's how you, if you want to give it, okay, let me put it like this. If you want your bees to be healthier and heavier going into winter and having those bees, it is essential to feed them bees the amino acids. Now, I'm not even going to dare attempt all the names of the amino acids it described for honeybees, but just a simple Google search of what is essential amino acids for honeybees. And there in the beginning, it listed 10 different amino acids that is going to help that bee if you can get that into their diet.
Redfish said Keith feeds his bees peas and carrots.
Hey, he's feeding them babies something. He's doing good up there. Spring he done fine, and going into winter, he's doing good too.
Mm-hmm.
Lord willing, you won't have no losses.
Oh, that's
coming out of
cool,
it.
bro. I get it. That makes sense. He said certain genes express themselves when triggered by a factor like food. Gene expression is repressed by the absence of nutrition.
Huh. You there.
It's like 2 comments up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bingo. All right. Let's see. All right, without reading all the percentages and this and that, where was I going with amino acids?
Mm-hmm.
Amino acids are the molecules, the ones that are building blocks of proteins, break down food, build and maintain muscle. That's what you want. You want to build the bees up and build the larvae up. So if they're feeding this into them larvae,
That bees are healthy.
well, yeah, what you're already going to get will say your winter bee is already going to be to a point a fat bee.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But if you can feed them the amino acids that they need, then you're going to have a much better and even healthier and bigger bee. Let me show you real quick.
He's got pictures for everything.
I do on this one. I think this is the amino acid one. Yeah, okay. If you're looking at the chart, we're going to go from left to right. And it says the honeybee nurse. The amino acid are the non-essential amino acid is going to be your lowest one on the left. We're going from left to right for a single chart. And it's showing the green honeybee. All right. Once you add, or if you do add, an essential amino acid to their diet, going in as they're building or beginning to get these winter bees to come on, well, the body of that bee is going to be bigger. Then you move over to the head structure, same thing. If you don't feed them, you're going to have a normal size winter bee. If you hook them up with amino acid, the head of it's going to be bigger. The thorax, so on and so forth. Then the abdomen, which is storing the majority of these fats and amino acids. You're basically going to have a bigger bee in return.
Joey said, "Where?"
It is mine too, to be honest with you. But just the little simplicity that I've figured out on it is, if you're not feeding your bees a good essential amino acid going in, then you may not have the plump, healthy bees that you could have. On top of, you may not have the numbers going in because they're just going to be stuck at, okay, I'm eating non-essential, which my body's going to produce anyway. So it's going to be enough to sustain. But if you can get good, healthy bees going into winter, then those bees will definitely be able to sustain, especially if you're worried about clustering for that heat in the wintertime.
Well, here, Chris just asked a good question. He said, when did the bees start to cluster for the winter? So you just led right into that.
Well, I guess that's just going to all depend on your area and region and what your honeybees define as we need to get warm.
Yeah, Mr. Mark. He said, I figured it out. Gonna got the big head because Sissy's feeding him amino acids.
Yeah, she get me ready for wintertime. Yes, sir.
Sweet potatoes and homemade macaroni is his amino acids.
Let me go down back through here. Nah, it's too much.
Where you going?
Well, I was going to shout out them results, but it's got like figure 2D something with
yeah.
pi and all kind of other else mixed in there. It'd be way too much to try to explain from me to y'all. That's for sure.
That's what I was kind of sitting here thinking, Keith. He said so many places in the South may not even have quote unquote winter bees.
No.
We may not get the super fat winter bees.
No, I mean, unless we fed them throughout the winter, besides just giving them some sugar water or, or what was that? Earl's video today talking about just giving them a pollen sub without no real nutrition in it, just something to get them by. If we can give them a pollen sub, give them something with the nutrition that they need versus just something to kind of feed them and get them by.
Okay, Mr. Mark said, I don't feed much, but I do open feed during dearth, and I use Amino B made by Honeybee Healthy, and if needed in early spring, I add Amino B to my pollen patty. Slow
Maybe that Mr. Mark now?
Yeah, he just put it on. It's at the very, very bottom.
It ain't showing yet for some reason. What'd you say there, Larimore?
What Mr. Mark said above Larimore. I don't know why it's not showing on there. It was between Joey Ross and Larimore.
Yeah, it ain't showing on this end for some reason, Mr. Mark. But the main thing is get ahead of it.
Well, okay. All right, take care, Lee. Keith said so feeding certain things in the north could actually hamper the making of winter bees in your hives.
Okay. I'll just give you my opinion. I don't really think so, because in nature, them bees, they're going to be making that transition anyway.
Yeah.
And we're not going to interfere with that transition of, summer bees to winter bees. So I don't think it'll really put them in a bind as far as the transfer over to, okay, look, we're going to start putting a little bit more grub in here for y'all, because I need y'all, or the queen will say, I need y'all to last 6 months instead of 6 weeks. So let's turn this part of nature on, because it's happening anyway. I could be 100% wrong on that, but I guess just trying to think simple.
Brian took my next question for Mr. Mark.
What's that?
I was going to ask him, but he did. Is there a big difference between the apis and the amino B that Mr. Mark was saying he feeds?
I did not look at the packaging on the amino acids, I guess, that you could take and feed to the bees.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a huge variation either way on the apis end of it, or if you just got 2 or 3 different type of amino acids that you could combine and work together. And
I like the way DC put it. He said, I don't think hamper is the right way to put it. I think it might not be optimum, but everything helps. So if you want to feed, you want it to be as efficient and effective as possible.
Well, I'd say even for your spring bees, that if you're giving them the amino acids for their intake, that granted, they're not going to be as big as a winter bee, but why wouldn't that be like, I don't know, working out with creatine versus working out with, your
Something
normal
not
day-to-day stuff.
crazy.
But
Yeah.
naturally, once a flow goes to turning on pollen and nectar in spring, I mean, we've seen it umpteen dozen times, they're going to pull away from pollen sub or anything that you're feeding them. And they're going to go straight out to nature and rummage through what they like best and bring back home.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get them to take it maybe early on, you could have a stronger spring bee as well,
Mm-hmm.
giving them that little bit of, let's say, B12 shot, if you will, going in. A little extra boost.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
But once again, going into spring or fall, if you got any kind of pollen flow, they're not going to touch really anything that we put out.
Yeah, they want the real stuff.
Yes.
Well,
But that's my education for this evening. I don't know if I lost you, confused you, or you said, Tim, I might look into that. See what in the world you trying to tell me. If you did, if you're at a more advanced level, absolutely, I would say go to this Science Direct and look at all that. Especially somebody like Brian.
Me too, learn more.
That just, can take information and put it in there without no issue. Now, more on my end, simplify it, make things easier.
Poor Larimore said I live in confusion.
What was it? Carolina honeybees has a fairly simple breakdown of basically the same thing, but it's nowhere in depth far as you getting into the non-essential and essential amino acids on things. So it just is very simple to understand on that. But that's at Carolina honeybees, and winter bees in the hives is what it pops up on the website there. Yeah, you can turn it on. It's probably that thing buffering. What we got? We only an hour and 8 minutes. Y'all hit the button. Come on in here now. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I confused you. Or just tell me about it. That's pretty well all I had on that there. I'm waiting on one particular to get in here. I ain't seen him yet. But anywho, let me get up here what DC and then yakking about. Let's see. Get up here, key spelling. Get into some of y'all's conversation here, Key. DC just saying if winter bee production is even partially triggered by a lack of certain things available in nature, if a beekeeper provides that substance artificially, might that delay things? What you got answering here, DC? Should my bees in cold weather bees begin with and when my mild winters they fly? I need as much of that extra honeybee lifetime I can get. And going back on that, I reckon a lot of it can be different because, like talking to a brother at church today, he was talking about their little colony they got at the house, Brother Charles and he said them things have just went and got fired up and furious, but they're doing real good. But he can't go out there without him whipping on them. But I told him, I said, brother, I said, give it. We just got into December, so in about 2.5 months, no more than 3 months, we're going to be seeing signs and already really making a transition over into spring.
Mm-hmm.
Late February, we're going to start warming up, and we've seen queen cells as early as Valentine's. Yeah. And we kept that one, Valentine, we kept her for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And she done fabulous out there. But for folks in the North Country, their winters ain't gonna be over till what, y'all?
April, May.
Yeah.
Some people even talking June.
So yeah, y'all most definitely need that power and that early set of whatever winter bees you can get to drag out for that 6 months. I don't know if our winter bees will really start dying off quicker because they're not exposed to that long of a winter, or if our winter bees start transitioning into our spring bees, will they start declining because they're going to be out foraging more versus being inside that colony, just everybody being in a cluster to keep the colony warm. So you're probably going to lose that in the springtime, I'd say, as they start foraging themselves.
Mr. Roy said I'm listening in while I make some two-way pallets, and I can hardly read my tape measure after all these big words tonight.
Hey, you ain't telling me nothing, Captain. Try to be on this end pronouncing thing, especially with my vernacular.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Glad I wasn't attempting.
Well, hey, it's something that at least put a bug in your ear, kind of give you something to chew on and to think about. And going back to, all right, if we're going in these, which is really too late this year to do any of this, but even reading back in the American Bee Journal, whenever the folks was getting their bees prepared for winter, by the end of fall, they already had whatever was going to be on them colonies for feed by the end of fall.
Yeah.
Because most oftentimes what they said, especially people up in the North Country, they'd have to take them bees and put them down in the cellars. So they're stacking all their bees down in the cellars. They can't be going out like us on a warm day and throw them a little bit of, sugar syrup or, a pollen patty or whatever you want to put out there on them to feed them.
They gotta be ready when they go in.
Yeah. So the habit that I guess we need to get into, if you're worried about winter feed, is go ahead and have that done like the old timers did it. They did it for hundreds of years for some reason this way. Feed them up, have them ready. That way, all you got to do maybe every once in a while, go out there and see if there's enough on them on a warm day or something.
Right.
But, you like
he said that's a sharp looking hat, Tim.
Yes, sir. Some of them folks up there, where's they at? Missouri. Yep. That VIA boat.
Styling.
Yes, sir. Hey, I like this old hat now. It fits good. Usually them old trucker hats has got that netting in the back of them things. Y'all know how they are. They stick up in the back. And
yeah, those don't. Those actually fit your head.
Yeah, they're more like a good baseball hat for you ball players out there. Seen Brian's hats too. Tom and Melissa showing some of theirs off, I think, the other week. And Brian's got a fine looking design on theirs as well.
Yeah, I like Brian's.
And too, y'all, if y'all want to do this, it's up to you. But since it's getting into the present getting time, if y'all got apparel y'all want folks to know about, stick a link in the comments.
Yeah, y'all put your websites in.
Yeah. So
Lee's already gone to bed.
Yeah. Well, we'll holler at Lee. If you want something from Lee there at Kodiak Farm, Bees, BIA, Brian and them, Dirt Rooster.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that sell their stuff.
Any of y'all that's got shirts, t-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
hats, full line apparel, whatever you got, put it out there. There's a couple more y'all we're gonna get in touch with for the 1,000 giveaway, and we're gonna try to have that bad boy pretty quick. It ain't gonna be a whole bunch of gifts, but we're gonna try to get some good stuff to.
We're trying to get back on track, y'all.
Absolutely, we are.
Really hard.
It's been weird trying to adjust or get back, like you say, just get back on track. Period. I don't even know half the time what my days are. Don't look at that cell phone or ask her. Couldn't tell you. Yes. Sorry about that, Mr. Dan Weaver. Phillip, RTX, and Miss Sophie, and them earrings for you ladies out there. She got them.
Yeah, well, and too, he's got to be starting it soon since it's December 1st, but he's supposed to be doing his fundraiser for the House for Heroes for Christmas again.
That's right, because he told old Richard to hold his water the other night on all that.
But either way, y'all, I highly recommend Sophie's jewelry. Make a great gift for any female in your life.
Yeah, because you about got every pair that youngin' makes.
They sent me 3 pairs of earrings now. That's literally all I wear. Like that's the only earrings I wear anymore, hardly.
Who else am I forgetting about? Somebody else was making a t-shirt. Just now making a t-shirt. Mike Berry? Was it Mike Berry? Or Joey?
I think it was Joey. Not long ago was making some of his.
One of y'all, yeah. Trying to remember everybody off the top of my head that got t-shirts and hats and what have you.
It's just about everybody.
Thinking of, all right, let's transition over to this then. For the ones of you that are making t-shirts and hats and all that, what websites are y'all using to do your store? I reckon to where you can design and create your apparel.
Like Merch Labs or something like that.
I'm trying to remember.
I can kind of see it in my head, but I can't remember.
I'm wanting to say that Canvas or something along those lines. I may be wrong on that. That may be something else.
Who he orders the stuff from or whatever, like who actually prints it or something. But I'm thinking, like, when you click on his link from his YouTube, it's like Merch Labs or something. I can't remember. It's something. Hey, Phillip.
Hello. How y'all doing?
Hang on. More technical difficulties.
That's all right.
Okay, there it goes. Now we can hear me.
See if I can get my light here. I'm in the dark room, sort of. How y'all doing?
Good.
Ooh, yeah, I was planning on jumping in anyway, but then you started talking about Sophie's earrings. So I had to run and grab the one she made for me while she was on break. So I can show them to you.
Show them off there.
Let's see if I can show them. These These are probably the only ones that are kind of different from what she has made. Let's stop moving.
Oh, those are cute.
They're kind of a stylized bee. Let's see. And there's this one. We're selling this one now, but I didn't have very many of them. It's the bee and the. Do you have that one, Hannah?
Yes, the bee and the comb.
Yeah. Okay.
And then just the solid silver ones too. That's probably the
Right.
ones I wear the most.
And then we do. She does this one, which is the comb's a little darker, I guess. Let's see if I can hold them up.
Oh, that's a new one too.
Let me move it. There it is. It's just
Yeah,
two pieces of comb. They're a little bigger and they're a little darker.
I like that.
Where can they find them at, Phillip?
Yeah.
Well, they'll just have to contact me through my just by text probably. My website is rtxhoneybees.com. But if you go to the Sophie's page, it hadn't been updated in so long. These right here, these are 10, and then the other two I showed you are 12. But
I would say that's extremely fair for a good pair of earrings.
so
Oh, yeah, they've held their color and all that stuff on.
And I wear them a lot.
yeah, we're gearing up for our last few sale markets of the year. So we got my son's got on Wednesday. He's got a middle of the day thing for the Women's Club of Capel. They have a yearly luncheon where they bring in vendors and do their Christmas shopping.
Oh,
And my
that's
son's
cool.
handling that. And then on Saturday we're going to do all 3 Saturdays this month at the market before Christmas. We're only scheduled to do 2, but we're going to go ahead and do all 3.
That's crazy. There's only 3 Saturdays left before Christmas.
I know, isn't that scary?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Russell Koopman sent a picture of his setup, him and his wife set up for a market. I guess it was today. He said they were ready for market. He has a beautiful table. I was joking with him. I said, "Your wife's so lucky to have somebody with your touch setting up her table."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Well, that's what you want. Catch that eye. Get them over there.
Well, that's good, Jack. Yeah, I hope so, Brian. And now he's got good motivation because I give him 10% to help me at the weekend markets, and then he helped me get it all ready also. But since he's handling it by himself, he's going to get 25% of whatever he takes in.
That's so generous of you.
minus the entry fee.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I get taken to the cleaners on these earrings now because I pay Sophie $5 a pair just to make them. And then I have to turn around and pay him 10 or 25% on top of that. Sell them. This is what you call a loss leader.
About that.
This is a loss leader for me. So if you guys want to break me, just buy a lot of earrings. Send me to the.
Oh, that's funny, Brian. He said at markets I set up early, and then Jen comes in later and fixes what I did. At least you're honest about it.
I'm gonna run and see if I can get that picture of Russell Koopman's. I know he won't brag on himself, but I want to show you guys that table that he sent me. It's beautiful.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be right back.
It's slow too, for whatever reason.
Did you see David Hoskins' comments about his baby grandbaby Emma was it praying for?
Said she should be able to come home soon after winter.
Yeah. And then in March she's supposed to go have the surgery to remove the feeding tube.
Yeah, Lord knows.
I think No, she's been home for a little bit now, not too long. They're waiting for winter to be over so she can have the feeding tube removed.
Okay. Well, Lord willing, y'all can get that wrapped up, and that baby will be
free and clear.
You're trying to catch up with that thing for too long. I'll tell you, my little niece.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna let him put you on the big screen.
Okay.
There we go.
That's the zoomed out version. He's got his that's his runny honey kind of right there in the middle, and then all the way to the outside of that is his creamed honey. Let me lean it forward a little bit. I'll zoom in here in a second and show you more.
That is nice.
There's some honey straws over there on the left-hand side. And let's see. And there's candles. You can see his little candle stand. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Yeah.
Oh, you got him good.
Yeah, there's his little price list right there on the chalkboard. Yeah, it's really nice the way he uses those risers. There's some of his creamed honey. And then some more, creamed honey all the way down to the end of the table. And then right there, that sign there says, only 24 days left till Christmas.
Yeah.
Real ammonia.
That made me panic a little bit when I read that. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. But, yeah, it's a real nice setup he has there.
Brian said I used to get annoyed, but now I just let her do it.
Yeah.
There's a sign there in front. Small town honey.
Oh, yeah.
Good chalkboard writing. You wouldn't be able to. We'd be like, what in the world is that dude done scratched on that thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Russell's wife's lucky she has him to do all that for him.
That is nice attention to detail.
I'm just noticing it now, but I kind of like it. His tables are set up in like a Z shape. Like this one over here comes out forward, and then one goes horizontal, but that one on the end down there goes back toward the wall. That's kind of an interesting setup there. I like that.
Make you walk all the way around it so you can see everything.
Well,
I'm sure they stand or sit. There's a couple of chairs behind it, so they stand or sit behind it, I'm sure. But it's kind of nice how it wraps around like that.
I don't know if I have that kind of creativity. I've never tried to put something together like that before.
Oh, there's Russell giving us a report. Yeah. Said his beeswax hand lotion sold the best today.
This is not updating the chat.
Trying to keep up. What we're reading off the phone ain't catching up with.
Yeah, I gotta look real close at those risers they use. Oh, they're like little steps. That's cool.
So make you some
Be still an idea for me, you stole twice.
Well, maybe take you some like 2x2s and do your bottom. And you could probably at Lowe's get you some what's little 1x3s and step on up to like a 1x4 or something like that. Give you that gradual little rise, and shoot, all you have to get is some thin CDX plywood, some 3/8 plywood to hold that plenty. What you gonna do out there?
Yeah, his. I noticed somebody at our market had risers that they were like U-shaped and they nested together. So when you packed them up, they kind of one went underneath. They got a little smaller as they went lower. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What they call them little dolls?
Yeah, like nesting dolls. Yeah, they did like that. I thought that was pretty efficient. Russell's looks like his are permanently stepped though. These are nice. These are really nice looking though.
Joey wants you to conspire with him to get him in trouble. He said, send me those pics so I can show my wife what she could be doing.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, it's going to you for sure, Joey.
He's going to get himself in trouble.
Bet you,
Russell Pittman said, Joey, I dare you. No,
I bet you anything right now, Mr. Joey Rawls is out there in that camper.
Poor Miss Rawls can't hear a word he's typing in there.
What you say there, Bubba Gump?
Hey, how's it going, folks?
Hey,
Good,
Brian.
Hey, Brian.
I'm working tonight, but I'm working and listening. I just wanted to jump in. This is what, and I call them bleachers, but we've got a couple of these, and we really like them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Even like Russell does that height thing really well. You can see things on every level. Like you can even have this on top of a crate in the back, and that even puts it even higher. So that's just
I
one
like
thing to do.
bleachers.
Yeah, and they come smaller too. This one has 4 levels. We have ones like this, and we have ones that have 3 levels. We put our candles on it. Jen wants this to be lighter in color because she feels like the darkness sometimes absorbs the heat, and it could start to make them melt towards the end of the event, which does sometimes happen. I'm not just sure how I'm going to address that, but that might be a winter project.
So those are metal, right?
Metal base. So you see the base, and either side has that metal piece, and then these are wood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
I like it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hop off. I just wanted to share that, but I'll keep listening.
Well, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Have a great night.
Y'all too, bro. Well, there you go. That's probably something you just order off the Amazon or go shopping at a Goodwill, and you may look up on something similar to that.
Call them bleachers.
Let me see. Michael Buck.
I think he was responding to Larry.
Oh, with the retina issues? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, not enough. Like I say, you probably find something like that. Maybe some kind of, I don't know what you call it, maybe like a display shelf of sorts and be able to rummage through.
I've seen little ones like for put on a desk or a tabletop or something before to set candles or knickknacks or something on.
Yeah, Russell said his comes apart for packing. That would be nice.
Yeah, I just saw that, be able to like lay it flat.
Yeah, put everything in a tote. You could do it that way. Stack it all up nice and neat one in. Put your little deal there.
And then if you're like us, you got it all together. You just lose the whole tote at one time.
There you go.
We're finding that out because we're doing all these gift baskets, and they don't fit back. When you do jars, you just put them back in the box that they came out of. But with these gift baskets, they're not all even or anything. You can't stack them, and
they're not stackable.
I'm thinking about ordering those shallow bins that Home Depot sells that you can shove under your bed. They're pretty wide, long. I think that's the best format. They're like 6 inches tall, but they're like 30 inches long and like 18 inches wide.
Yeah.
Those would hold a bunch of smaller things, and then you could stack those up.
Yeah.
Carry them and store them and stuff. So
now, are you selling them to the free world too, or just at you?
The gift things. I would. I need to figure out how to show them off. I need to take pictures and update my website. That's the hard part, is making myself update the website. But I do have gift baskets shown on the website, but it says they're not available. And what I have now doesn't really look what I have. Look, I've changed them a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have seen. Well, let's see. This is one of my old. Let me show you the old style gift box, and I'll show you the new style. You can see the difference. This is the old style. It had 3 slats, and it's slatted on all sides, and it's the posts that are holding everything together is like a 3/4 by 3/4 inch post.
Mm-hmm.
like a Luan bottom. These were a real pain in the rear to make. So I've simplified, the way I make it. I think the product looks better because the product was getting lost down inside here before.
Mm-hmm.
So I've switched to this, which is just 2 slats. This happens to have candles in it. It's not not what it's intended for, but let me take these out. I've switched to this, and it has a little solid piece on the end there instead of slats. That's so much easier to build because before, when I try to nail on the side pieces, when you got started, you try to nail into this top piece. I'd have to set it down on the table to support that because the nail would push it down. So this was a real pain. So I had to come up with something better. But this one's real easy because I just turned it the wrong way. I just nail these pieces to the bottom. I don't know if you can't really see it, but 3 times. There's 3 nails there. And then it's real easy just to nail the slats to that. Just 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch by 1/2 inch staples, and just takes me a couple minutes to throw that together. These pieces on the side are actually, when I make my top bars for my frames, that they come out just like that. They're long. They're 19 inches long, but that's just the waste part of the frames. If I had to go through and cut all those pieces just for these gift boxes, that'd be a real pain. But looks like I'm gonna have just enough from the frames I made this year to finish these gift boxes.
So you ripping all them down and just building boxes out of scrap?
Well, I'm ripping these end pieces down right here out of a 2x4, but these pieces on the side, they were already ripped down they were what's left over when I was building my top bars for my frames. So I had just rolls of those, 19-inch long pieces. I had like 4 or 5 rolls of those just bundled. And I'm on my last bundle now, but I probably got another 30 or 40 of these to make. But let me see if I can find one that's finished to show you. Here's one right here. Here's one with all the stuff in it. It's got let's see, got the honey. It's got a candle, lip balm, and a 6-inch dipping stick right there. Let me kind of roll it for you. And this particular one has some of Sophie's earrings in it as well.
What are you doing with that plastic? Is that just like some kind of?
It's a shrink wrap. Let me show you. Let me see if I can turn the computer. That's real simple. I bought one of those impulse sealers. Let me see if I can show you. There it is right there. You see that impulse sealer right there? This is the roll of shrink wrap right here. It's got a fold in it. Brian has already told me to go ahead and make a video and show everybody how this works, so I'll have to do that. But I've got my hand stuck in there right now. See, like a bag almost. You just roll that across the sealer. You just roll that across right here. And when you push this down, it melts it. And if you push it down a second time, I can just tear it off, and it's sealed on the end like that. So it kind of cuts it and seals it at the same time. And then I just flip it around, and then I just take a heat gun and heat it, and it shrinks down to what you see there.
I got you.
It's really strong, and and I bought the higher quality shrink wrap. What's funny is I looked this up for Carl. Carl wanted to know what I used, so I looked it up and sent it to him. But I think this machine was only like $26 or $30, and it's 16 inches long. They sell them in like 12 and 16. but the roll of shrink wrap is about 60, but it's 500 feet doubled over. So I'm going getting through my second year. I think I'll get through my second year and not have to have bought any more of it. So
It still looks like there's plenty on there.
yeah, there's a bunch. I think we'll make it through this year pretty easily before I have to order some more. I don't remember how thick this roll was, but you can imagine it's $60 for about 550 feet. What is that per foot? I think it came down to like 25 cents a foot or something, but I only use about, when I stick this in there, I only use probably about 6 or 8 inches of that. So I could probably wrap 800 or 900 gift sets out of that one roll.
Oh, you definitely get your money's worth for about $60.
Yeah. So, even if it was 50 cents, it's probably worth it, but it's not that much. It's probably about a quarter.
Let me see here. 2-part question, Mr. Russell Koopman. How many Christmas baskets you plan on doing this year? And how thick is your bottom board?
Yeah. To answer that first one, Russell, is I just bought, because I'm getting really low on honey. Let me show you. I'm making the honey that's going in the gift basket. They're in a smaller jar. This is the Richland honey. This is 9 ounces of honey in this, and I've got enough Richland honey to do as many as I want, but I don't have much of the Capel Spring, and don't have much of the Capel Fall, and I have even less of the Capel Spring. So I went and bought these jars off of Amazon. This is a 4 fluid ounce jar, but it holds 6 ounces of honey weight. And I was, matter of fact, getting ready to fill a few of these, but this is going to go in some of my gift baskets. I made a little bit shorter gift basket for this smaller jar. And this and a candle and lip balm is going to be, I think, $20. So total number, I've got 30 of these jars, and then I've got about 36 or 48. I had a few. I forgot to order this jar, but because I was thinking about making creamed honey, here I'm going to show that I'm copying Brian and Russell. I bought this jar for creamed honey, but I decided to use this for gift baskets. So it's a hex jar, also 9 ounces. So anyway, I think I ordered like 48 of these, but right now I've made 16 of these, and I'm about to make 10 gift baskets with these, but I'm going to make at least 36 or, maybe as many as 50 of those others. So my goal would be about 70 probably total, Russell, before, in the 4 weeks. So we'll see. All right. Is that pine? Yes, that's either, it's spruce, pine, fir, whatever 2x4s are. That's what I make my frames out of. Redfish. And the bottom board, that's an interesting question. This is actually, you see it's white. That's actually a piece of like 1/8 inch. What's that, melamine? What's that called? It's you can write on it with the dry erase marker.
Yeah.
And I just had a piece of that, scraps of that, and I just cut it down, whatever I find. And then this one right here is, which a lot of my new ones are as well. This is a 5 millimeter Luan. So that, I hope that it's real thin. Basically, it's less than 1/4 of an inch. Eighth to 5 millimeter is a little bit less than 1/4. So that's the thickness of them. It's very thin.
You see Brian and Jen's there?
So they have a 12 inch for caramels.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, I would have a little bit of trouble with a 12 inch. I've got the 16 inch impulse sealer, and I've got the 14 inch roll of shrink wrap. you could do a 16-inch roll of shrink wrap, but you have to be real careful about that it's lined up, perfectly every time. And that would, to me, that'd be a real pain to have to worry about whether the ends of it are getting sealed, all the way across. But I mean, it just depends. I guess, Brian, if you fed, I put this in, the long way, and that saves off the roll. But if you use the 12-inch and you fed it over your basket going the short direction, you could still make that. It'd be a little more waste, but you could still make that 12-inch work. But if you're having a 12-inch, if you have a 12-inch impulse sealer and a 12-inch wide roll, I could see that getting a little bit, hard to make sure you're sealing from edge to edge, because it's got to be lined up perfectly. And on mine, a lot of people have these impulse sealers and they have these rolls on a nice rack and all that stuff where it feeds off straight. Mine just, let's see, my stuff just sits here loose on the table. It doesn't. One little tip I guess I could give. Oh, you got me, Buttons, I think.
Let me see if I can get you back here. Well, I don't know. I done kicked you somehow.
I'm out of it. And that says I'm still here.
I don't know what in the world it done, Phillip.
Oh well, that's no big deal. But I do put a little let's see if I can. I don't guess I did anything here. Now the options, when I click on it, says remove from stage, edit name, edit auto. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we hear you good.
I'm just wondering if they can hear me on the YouTube side.
Oh, I did not think about that. Yes, I am, Keith Larimore. I don't know what it done. Try to get him on that solo layout again, and poop. I guess, Phillip, if you don't mind, come back in, see if it'll go that way. They say they can hear you. We just can't see you.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. That's I did it. Hold on.
There we go.
It had stop cam on there, so maybe I accidentally hit a button. Maybe I've told you I'm buttons 2.0. All right, here we go. So I don't know if you can see it, but because this, I have a little box back here that's just happens to be about the same height as this impulse sealer. So when I pull something through, I set the basket when it's in the plastic. Let me get a better job here on top of the box, so that it's not sitting below. So it's in line with where the plastic's coming through. So that's something you just kind of learn as you do things.
I sure did, y'all. I sure got out of that one. And I was like, well,
it was me because it had my camera turned off. Let's see what else I can do and blame on you.
Well, on the buttons end, I took it and I was like, well, I guess I don't know what the world. Then I'm trying to, when you know how it shows you on the back screen back there, and I'm trying to get you back on the solo, and it ain't soloing you. I was like, well, it's beyond my fixings here. Let's just start over, I reckon.
You'll have to tell everybody about the picture I sent you when I was at Nobby at the Cracker Barrel. Do you remember that? The picture of that mug or that glass?
I have to look that back up here, Phillip. Be honest with you.
It said, I'm sorry I was pushing your buttons. I was trying to hit mute.
I'll go back in the text message and see if I can load it next week.
That will get you in trouble.
Oh, this thing will in a quickness. Let's see.
Yeah, Dan is saying I need a black pipe holder for that roll. And yeah, I do. I need a whole setup. I need a whole space dedicated to that, but we just do things where we can.
That's it. Just do it on the fly.
Yeah, just beyond that is where we make the candles. This is like the dining table, and it's just covered with crap to make it go.
Oh, Let's see where we at. We got 10 minutes. Richard Briner, you still in here? Let's see if he's still in here. If so, we're going to do that raffle tonight. But I want you to be the highest bidder on the honey. So I found one last little jar. This was last year's. Like I said, that's the last jar of gun line that we had got. And that was last year. So you want to start that bidding, start the bidding, whatever the highest bid is. Richard's been pushing and pushing on these live chats about let's raffle off some honey. Let's raffle off some honey. So now's the opportunity, Captain. Go ahead and put it in there. If you get the highest bid, email us and we'll send you that joker right on to you. But yeah, last jar gun line until we get cranked back up in spring. We excited get back into things and being able to invest the time that needs to be
So
amongst the bees.
I also, when I was in there getting those earrings, I think I heard you and Hannah talking about the Hives for Heroes off a raffle or whatever. So
Yeah.
yes, I am going to do that. I still have to make the basket up. I don't think I might have it ready by Wednesday when Noah goes to that show, but I'll for sure have it ready for this weekend. Yeah, I'm going to fill a basket up kind of like last year. I think this is the same. Get back here. It's a huge basket. Fill it up with about $100 worth of product. Shrink wrap it and make it look real good. Instead of the $1 per ticket this year, I'm going to follow the lead that Hives for Heroes did at their booth last year. They sold, because most people are giving me like $20 or some even more. Some are giving 50, but they don't want me to fill out all the tickets. Well, what they did at the Nobby, Hives for Heroes did it was one ticket for $5 and 2 tickets for $10 is what they were doing. So I think I'm going to follow that and do that same thing. To one ticket for $5. That way, if somebody sends me $20, I can easily fill out, what's that? 4 times. It's only 4 tickets I have to fill instead of 20. So
Well,
everybody still has a similar weight.
Last year you did good on that. Huh?
Yeah,
wasn't about 1,000 you raised?
It was 700 or 800, I think, for that, and then we did another 700 or 800 for the one we did at the Nobby. It turned out to be about $1,700 total that we raised for them. So, and I'm trying to make up my mind about going to Nobby or not. This close to saying yeah and making the drive. Last year, of course, it's a long way to drive for me, but I was sick when I drove home, and I think I've got post-traumatic
yeah,
over that drive home last year when I was feeling terrible. I got home. It took me like 15, 16 hours to get home because I had to stop and sleep a couple of times. And when I got home, I stayed in bed for 4 days. But I think I had the COVID. I never went to the doctor, but I'm pretty sure it was my second bout with COVID. But
I think it's Tom Lister asking earlier if we was going to try to make it this year, but no, it's too late for us to make it this year. So, Lord willing, we'll get things won't be kind of off track, if you will, and we can get saved up, prepared to go up there next year, Lord willing.
Yeah. And I'll try to get a hold of Steve over at Hives for Heroes and see if we can do a drawing. I'll probably do it on somebody's show, maybe this show or Joey's or somebody's, maybe I just have the drawing on somebody's show. And it'd be nice if we could get somebody from Highs for Heroes to come in and talk to us. I think that was kind of fun last year. So, and then we'll have the drawing. That'll be just, within the couple of days before Christmas, I think, is when we'll have that drawing.
Somebody had like the head honcho on one of the lives not too long ago. I say not too long ago, but 8 months ago.
That was probably Steve. I'm trying to think of his last name. Now I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, he came on. Lee helped me set up the live, and it was on a Thursday night. It was Ricky had just started doing Thursday nights, but he wasn't like every Thursday. So there was an open Thursday night, and I had Steve on. Jimenez. Steve Jimenez was on, and he's he can carry the show by himself. He can really talk about Highs for Heroes. He's passionate about it. So that was fun. I'm gonna try to set up something like that again. I don't know. Let's take a vote. You guys want to hear from Steve again? Or you want me to try to find somebody else? I know there's Charlie that does all the scheduling. I don't know if he would come on. There's Craig Midget is pretty involved. He would be willing to come on and talk to us.
Did you say Steve? Yeah. I think so. And saying that Steve fella done good.
And and another person I think he's heavily involved in Texas is Stan Gore. He would probably come on and talk to us too.
All right, well, you got two there. Old Redfish says Steve sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Brian saying Stan.
I mean, Steve may not be available. Who knows? But I'll reach out to him or Nyla is his girlfriend that coordinates a lot of that stuff.
Well, Lord willing, you do just as good, if not better, this year for that program. Because man, it's a wonderful thing what they do for men and women trying to get something to ease that mind a little bit.
Yeah. But that we did, Carl sent stuff, Brian brought stuff, a lot of people. Grammy donated something, and Jimmy's Neighborhood Bees, he brought some books, and Hale Hives, and I'm gonna leave somebody out. Jeff Butler, he brought some stuff by. I can't remember who. There were several people that brought stuff to, and we just divvied it up and put it in baskets. JB from Stone River Bees, him and his wife went out and bought the baskets and the filler stuff for us to be able to, just take stuff that people brought by and put like 3 jars of honey in one thing, and we auctioned it off. There's a big crowd standing around hoping they would win, and
look at there. Sorry. Cranking up for you.
Yeah. Hives for Heroes had a one of those Propola hives with Hives for Heroes burned onto the front of it. That thing was really nice. That was kind of the grand prize, so to speak. And then I went to I was on Fred Dunn's. I wasn't on it, but I was like everybody here, just watching Fred Dunn's live. And right at the end of it, I asked Fred if he could bring something for the auction, and I literally asked him as he was closing out his show, and so then I wrote, well, I guess not, and he said he says he responded in the comments. He said, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of you, or something like that. And I said maybe a coffee cup. So I'm standing there with Steve at the Hives for Heroes, and we're getting the table set up and getting all the stuff arranged. And here comes Fred Dunn walking up. And he walks up to me and he goes, "A coffee cup? Come on, I can do better than that." He brought out a smoker with, he had a smoker and he had the way to be burned onto his logo burned onto the smoker. And that was, and he had a way to be bag too. May have had something else, I don't know, but he brought a really, really nice thing to auction off. So
That was cool of you, Fred.
and that was cool.
Just a little more to add to it.
Yeah, I was wanting to get into it and try to win it at that point, but I knew that wouldn't look too good. I was wanting that smoker.
Everybody's saying old Fred's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. Now, me and Lee bought some tickets, but we bought them. We was going to give them to you, Tim and Hannah, if y'all want. We put y'all's name on the tickets, but they didn't get pulled.
Mm-mm.
We was hoping y'all would win something, but it didn't work out.
I think we was trying to continue the bribery along the way. So, well, maybe we get a shot at it. This year we'll try the same thing, but I'll make sure I get that Kodiak Farm shirt on. That way I know we'll pull in a W off that.
There you go. This is your lucky shirt.
Yes, sir. Where are we at? Well, y'all, I think we're going to wrap her up this evening. Phillip, appreciate you dropping by, brother. And y'all holler at Phillip. Get them women some earrings or them daughters a pair of earrings or something there from Sophie, or y'all want a basket from him, holler at him. Man, to get you fixed up with something real nice there. Nothing else. We'll try it next weekend, Lord willing, y'all. But y'all take care. God bless you, Lord willing. We'll see y'all on the next one.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Take care, man.
All right.
Well, guess that's it for today. See you.